I guess that you're all here because you like writing and you want to be writers, or you are writers, and you just want to spread the whole jollity of it. And that's exactly the reason I started writing. I was first published when I was 7, and that's not because I was a boy genius, it was because it was during the Korean War, and my father used to run the Labour Party newspaper in Portsmouth, where I come from. And I wrote him the first chapter of a novel, and because he was my dad, and he was the editor, he put it on the front page of the Labour Party Courier. And everybody laughed at me like drains, because the only reason he'd done it was because he didn't correct my spelling, which at the age of 7 was absolutely hilarious, they thought. So, being a hard-headed young author, I refused to write chapter 2.
What you doing here at tea time, lad? Come in, just cracking open a tin of beans and a can of bodies. Want to join me?
No thanks, Jimmy. Jean's got the tea on.
You're a lucky bugger. Take the weight off your feet, lad. What's to do?
Just trading my car for a camper van.
Yeah? Really?
Really. I saw the sign on the back of the van and I just had to buy it.
A sign? What sign?
I knew it was a message.
A bloody message. Get a grip, lad.
Adventure before dementia.
Forgotten guilt, and it's a great example of how a writer evolves stories. I mean, I started this story, it must be 30 years ago, and every so often I get it out of the dusty shelf and I rework it, and so this has been in the making a long time. Okay, I will just read you a bit from the beginning. It was snowing, and the motorway was turning a soft shade of white in the grey light of dusk. He flicked on the wipers. He wasn't too far from home, not too far from the loving bosom of his family, and every mile was putting more distance between him and the horror of what he'd done. Push it away, forget it. He was good at that. He'd had 30 years of practice.
My name's Carol Higgins. This story appealed to the writer in me when it was decided to close Upper Mill Museum for refurbishment. It made me think about the building when the doors are finally closed. Night falls and quiet descends. The darkness inside was lifted now and then by a shaft of light from the passing cars on the main road. A bright moon seemed to add to the mood of the place. The canal that ran alongside the back of the building was still and quiet. The moon gave the water a light grey glow. Just an occasional ripple appeared on its surface as a moored narrowboat bounced against the bank.
Well, it's not real, but my writing name, my pen name, is the rather exotic Carolina. Then he sniffed around his empty dishes and looked hopefully at whichever auntie was left to feed him. Not quite as snappy a name as Charlie's Angels. We called ourselves Riley's aunties.
Pity not those poor wretched souls that lie in Bedlam's rot, for though they know the devil's hand, within they see it not. Instead give prayer for those that care and witness torment grave, that hellish sound from creatures bound in minds they cannot save. I beg you weep for those that keep the madness in those walls, for to that place, but for the grace of God, there go we all.
My pills have come. Would you put them away? Harriet tossed a large chemist bag towards me and gestured to the kitchen. And get me some tea while you're at it. I didn't argue. What was the use? I felt sick. I was running out of time. I needed to think. I had to do something before the solicitor got here. This entire charade had to end now. The visits, the sham affection, dealing with Evelyn's disapproval. I disappeared into the kitchen and examined the medication. Harriet's pills were a real pick and mix. The chemist delivered them, and I had the job of transferring them into the daily boxes into an effort to help her take them properly. Do you need any pills before I go? I shouted through. And that's where I'm going to.
Miss Crowd, Mr. Wilton, it's rude to get your willy out in front of a lady.
Caelan felt the dagger as though it was within him. Pain, white hot, arcing out from his very soul, raced through his body out into the heavy air surrounding him. He roared his denial of what his eyes told as he stumbled to his knees, his eyes fixed upon Jenna, her rigid body softening as the life bled out of her. Above him, the heavens erupted into a cacophony of rage. Black clouds rolled across the sky, blocking out the sun, as thunder boomed around them in crashing waves.
She leaned across him, catching some of his self-consciousness again. Stupid. I never know what's going on, she said. Probably safest, he said, quick and low. She looked where he pointed. Between 2 paragraphs of a news story, in a different font, Tell Alison. The story above and below was about security measures and the progress on the committee's success in promoting calm and well-being in the state. He flipped to another window on his screen. This one showed a video of a cat falling from a table repeatedly. The same words and dots in the same font popped up as it lost balance each time. Tell Alison, ... falling cat. Tell Alison, ... falling cat.
We're nearly there. This is a short story called Holes and Other Things. It's a very, very scary story. We're going to stop before the scary bit, because otherwise you won't sleep tonight.
Need to be this down.
So, yes, stamp. Right.
Trevor.
As you can see, I've got help.
You'll be sorry.
Yes. Was rolled over the top of the casket from the darkness within, and finding their hold, raised their owner out of his erstwhile confinement.